Okay, had a good practice today. With the older guys, a lot of situational work, a lot of special teams work, a lot of good-on-good special teams. We're getting down to the end as far as our personnel special teams, and we just really wanted to give our guys opportunities, to get our personnel set on special teams for the next 2 weeks as we start game planning for Clemson in that area. So it was good work as far as that. Offense and defense, the ones went against the ones in about 5 different situations, twos on the twos right there. Gave some good work, and just to make sure that those special situations or end-of-game situations, everybody knows what to do and all that. But thought our energy was really good. It was good to be outside again. Obviously, pretty hot, which we're starting to get used to the heat. You can tell a difference with our guys as far as focus and energy level. So, that first game, obviously, even though it's at night, it'll be extremely humid. So I think we're in really good physical condition as far as that goes. So overall, I thought it was a really good day of practice. We'll come in tomorrow, have just a regular Sunday practice. We'll be off on Monday, and then we'll kind of get in game week routine for the next 2 weeks as far as getting ready for Clemson, and really just focusing, everything on Clemson for the next 2 weeks. I'm not ready to name a starting quarterback yet. There's still very good competition. Hopefully we'll know something in the near future, but not right now. It's too good a competition. We're going to let those guys compete for a little longer and see what happens.
Gus, did they all get work with the ones today?
They did. Yeah, all 3 got work with the ones, and that's kind of been the way that we've operated. So.
Just you kind of have a deadline for when you want to cut it from 3 to 2 to start kind of getting those reps more.
Like I said last week, I mean that would be the plan. Not quite there yet, but that's not a bad thing. Once again, there's really good competition. You can tell the intensity as it gets a little bit closer. It gets different each day, which I think is good. And but that would be ideal, either that or be able to name a starter at some point in the near future. So we'll see how that unfolds. Today was good work, and we'll get a chance to grade our film and go from there.
Guess even if they're all taking reps at the first team, it's still an equal competition in your mind, or is there a pecking order of sorts?
No, I mean if there was a pecking order, I'd say, hey, these 2 right here are battling it out right now. I'm not ready to say that yet. Hopefully, like I said, in the near future, we can do that. But the intensity, like I said, it's getting higher each day, and that's usually when things start to become a little clear. But they're all 3 fighting for the job, and I think that's a positive.
Does it speak pretty highly of John that he's in this mix this long? Just because it's been about 30 practices for him compared to Jeremy, 3 years, and Sean's been the system.
Yeah, I mean they're all 3, man. They're rolling their sleeves up and they're competing. So John's right in the middle of that.
Guess 2 weeks to go before your first game. What are some areas you'd like to get better at?
First games, you're always concerned about special teams. I mean, you look at the history of first games, and there's always a big play or 2 in special teams that usually have a direct outcome in a game. That's one thing. And I think, as you're narrowing things down and you start to game plan, the little things, the timing and everything that goes with it usually, gets a little cleaner. Specifically with the young guys that will be on the field helping us this first game, as we condense things down, really looking for the next 2 weeks for those guys to get more confidence and be more reactive instead of have to think. And so that's probably the biggest, thing for me right now.
Speaking of the young guys, right now, how many of the freshmen would you think are going to figure?
There'll be more that will help than won't. We recruited these guys to play, and most of them, I say most of them, more of them will than not.
You got a guy like Malik Miller. We've heard a lot about him, how he's improved a whole lot in this preseason. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, Malik has he's been one of our more improved guys from spring to fall. He's leaner. He is faster. The physical part of the game he enjoys, and that's always important for young guys. And so he'll be in the mix. I mean, he'll be in the mix for helping some special teams. And he's getting more and more comfortable playing the tailback position.
You think it's, a positive to be able to name a starter before the opener, just to have the team rally around a guy, or are you okay with
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a positive if you can do that, and that'll more than likely be what we do. I mean, that's what we've been shooting for. But right now it is what it is.
Does this quarterback competition remind you of any in your past, the way it's stretching this long?
Yeah, I've been coaching 26 years, so I bet there's probably some that have been similar.
You guys talk
That's a
about
long time, isn't it?
how important is it to get good looks from your special teams next couple of weeks?
Yeah, and that was one of our big focuses today. Good on good, which we hadn't done a lot of. We've been doing versus scouts, making sure they have the right angles and assignments. Today it was good on good, and so I'm really hoping today we'll be able to really put the pieces of the puzzle and just big picture looking at it without grading the film. There were some positive things for some young guys that I could see.
Gus, the defense is something you talked about in the spring, how much you thought they'd improved. What have you seen out of them that has made you feel good about their progress so far?
Yeah, I just think it's understanding their assignments. I just think it's understanding, what their responsibility is within the defense, and be able to make adjustments. Every year first games is usually about adjustments too. They have all summer and all spring to kind of plan, and you got to have a system in all three phases that is able to adjust. And our defense gets more and more confidence each day, just understanding the responsibilities and how everything works together. And that's really been one of the positive things, from my standpoint, that I've seen them. I thought they did a solid job in the spring, but we've improved.
Gus, do you
in the fall
anticipate going to the first game with the same offensive line and same 5 55?
It looks that way right now. As long as we stay healthy, that's a group that's gelling. We got a handful of those guys with the twos we've been getting a lot of reps with, and some of those guys got the scrimmage reps today. We scrimmaged the young guys, and a lot of those twos got a chance to show again what they could do. And you really more from a depth standpoint, if injuries and all that.
Is there anything new with the status of Marshall Taylor?
We expect him to be back this week. I don't know exactly what day, but we expect him to be back.
You mean next week?
Yeah, what days are running? What is today?
Saturday?
Yeah.
What was Tony Stevens able to practice today?
Tony Stevens did not practice today. Matter of fact, there was a handful of guys that didn't. And really our plan was to get everybody healthy by Tuesday. And I expect everybody to be back Tuesday ready to go to have 2 weeks of practice. And so that was by design with some of the guys that were banged up, today.
That group included Trey Williams and Kyle Davis?
Trey's been out there for a while. Kyle Davis will be back Tuesday ready to go. Trey's been back.
I'm sorry. If Marshall Taylor can get back next week, how long before you can expect?
We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see how everything progresses and all that. It's hard to say right now.
Gus, Javaris Davis is already a guy that you're going to be counting on, but with the injury to Jamel, what have you seen out of him that makes you?
Yeah, Javaris is, his confidence level. He was extremely talented. Even last year when we redshirted him, he had a great spring. He's more confident. He can really run. He's super fast, probably our fastest guy. Josh Holsey's a guy too that's been playing some corner too. John Broussard's a guy that is coming on. You can see that has a really good skill set that our coaches have been impressed with. And Stephen Roberts is a guy that, even though he's a safety, he's got corner experience. So, just trying to get quality depth there. But Josh Holsey gives us that. But Javaris he'll be the first one out there right now.
Alex Kozan mentioned in the past about how he just feels like his stamina is fully back.
Yeah.
And Brett was mentioning that he's been really impressed with him. Do you think he's back at that level of being all SEC type?
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I think he's probably as healthy as he's been since he's been here. His confidence level and just the experience factor. He's one of our offensive leaders, one of our team leaders. He's one of the guys when he talks, he doesn't say much, but when he talks, everyone listens. And he's had a great spring and great fall camp.
If Jeremy isn't named the starter, Gus, are you committed to playing him this year?
Yeah, I'm not going to go into hypotheticals yet. I'm going to wait and we'll name a starter, and then we'll kind of go from there after that. Yeah, there's no doubt. Stephen Roberts is He's, you know, he was one of our better special teams guys last year. He got experience at the safety position the second half of the year. Had a very good spring, and just turning into one of those leaders on the defensive side that I know Coach McGriff has a lot of confidence in. He's a savvy football player. He understands football, and he's starting to develop into the player that you know, we really expected when we recruit him. And I'm proud of where he's at right now. He's got to go out there. He's got to keep improving and all that, but he's a football player.
Gus, do you suspect you'll still script the first 10 or 12 plays when you get into game prep, you know, for Clemson, or is that
I'm not telling.
How about the first 5?
Not telling that either. We may script 20.
So you will script plays, let's put it that way.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not.
When did you as a staff start actually going and preparing for Clemson in the meeting rooms?
You know, I think each year, you know, you look at your schedule, and, you know, after spring ball or sometimes even before spring, you look at your early opponents, and, you know, I think everybody in the country does that, and you try to get an early jump on as possible. So,
from a player standpoint, I'm sure you can touch on this, but how much does it help to have Clemson in that first game and turn their focus to a team that talented?
yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody knows that they're one of the better teams in the country. They played for the whole thing last year. They got a lot of guys coming back. They're a good team, and so there's no doubt. I mean, we understand we're going to have to play well.